Mr. Anderson, I see you've actually took the opportunity to actually click on this video right about now. It's very understandable, Mr. Anderson. It seems like that this review is actually going to be something very unique. Really? You didn't think so? Well, you clearly have no idea, Mr. Anderson, because, well, what more do you expect? Alright, yeah, I just need an excuse to actually use my sunglasses right here by now, so, yeah. You'd be surprised on, of course, a few major surprises that I would put into these videos right here by now, so yeah. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and yeah, it looks like, I guess, since after Christmas was, of course, a massive blast for sure, and of course, let's not forget to mention 2021 is winding down to a close right about now. I knew right away that I think it's time for me to, of course, end this year with, of course, well, a bang for sure as hell. So, yeah. Pretty much, yeah, I guess if anything, 2022 is already days away right about now, and I guess right about now, I do need the right opportunity to actually end this year with a bang for sure, and thankfully, with today's thoughts video right about now, including one other one that'll be put up later on, I think it would prove exactly that, So yeah, I guess if anything, right about now for today's thoughts video right about now, we're actually going to be diving into one thing that excuse me, y'all. Yeah, we're going to be diving into, of course, one thing that I haven't done in pretty much in several months right about now because, well, I was too busy with, of course, plenty of other stuff that I got going on in between all of the hang but thankfully, I did find the right time to actually do it, and it looks like one of the movies that I'm going to be reviewing does have a little tie-in to, of course, what I got going on. So yeah, I guess if anything, right about now, I think for today, right about now, I decided to hit up Crown City Cinemas over in Cortland once again because, well, I still love what they're doing right about now, and thankfully, we've actually, yeah, I think, yeah, we've actually taken up something that I haven't done in several months now, which is, of course, seeing a double feature on the exact same day for sure. So yeah, I guess right about now, I've actually seen not one, but two movies back to back right about now, and I gotta say, it's actually, really well worth it nevertheless, so yeah, and of course, for one of them, is, of course, what I'm gonna be, talking about here today, so yeah, I guess for the first movie I'm going to be talking about as part of my double feature for sure, we're actually going to be diving into, of course, the latest movie from, of course, a pretty well-known action, sci-fi, and thriller movie series that has actually been very recognizable for the past few decades for sure. So yeah, and thankfully it has seen the light of day very recently once again, and of course, well, given for the fact that I was wearing these pairs of sunglasses pretty much earlier in the video, I think you pretty much get the idea, of course, what I'm going to be talking about right here but now. But for those who don't, we're actually going to be diving into, of course, the latest movie, and of course, pretty much a recognizable movie series that you may or may not have heard of, which is, of course, The Matrix. So yeah. Quite a whole lot I got to say the least right about now, and yeah, given to that name right about now, I think it's pretty clear on what I'm going to be reviewing here today, but for those who don't, I'm actually going to be diving into the latest film in the Matrix franchise, which is none other than Matrix Resurrections. So yeah, like I said, this is of course the latest film in the Matrix series that had just came out right about now, and of course I myself have actually got the chance to actually see it for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that. All right. Alright, so now that I've got the introduction out of the way, I guess before I can actually talk about this latest movie, I think it's pretty clear that I would give out my opinion on the Matrix series in a nutshell for sure as hell. So yeah, truth be told, I think if you probably may recall, of course, probably a few episodes of course, WTPU, aka What the Pickup, I actually did, of course, one of my Christmas presents from 2020, and of course, my recent updates that I've done on my DVD and Blu-ray collection, and believe it or not, the Matrix movies are, of course, one of them for sure. And I guess it's actually for good reason, because it's actually one movie series that I've been wanting to check out for some time right about now, as people say that, of course, that it actually changed the way of course, action and sci-fi films in recent years right about now. And of course, people have actually declared the Matrix movies as, of course, being symbolic and meant stuff. And truth be told, yeah, truth be told, in my perspective, I actually do believe in saying that people find it to be symbolic and meant stuff, because yeah, I guess it's pretty clear on what a lot of people are saying on that, because yeah, that's actually for good reason, because the original Matrix movie, at least in my opinion, is of course a really fantastic movie all the way. Not only changing the way of course action and sci-fi films in recent years, but it's also one of the pretty much one of the best well-known movies that are, of course, done by, of course, the directing duo that goes by the name of the Wachowskis. Yeah, though they were originally called the Wachowski brothers, but of course, they pretty much in recent years they have actually changed into transgender women for sure. So, but yeah, whatever the case may be, they were. Yeah, I guess if anything, the Wachowskis is, of course, pretty well known for sure, and the Matrix, and the first Matrix movie is, of course, yeah, really defined all that for sure. Though, yeah, I guess aside from that, I guess I could make the argument that their take on Speed Racer is also done pretty well, which, yeah, can't deny on that, regardless on what people may think of him. But I think it's on top of course, several other films that didn't actually, yeah, that of course did fine, like of course Cloud Atlas, and of course some that really missed the mark, like Jupiter Ascending, for example. But regardless on that, The Matrix is, of course, one of the most recognizable films that the Wachowskis has done, and like I said, I actually thought the original Matrix is actually a really great film all the way, and I do believe it when people say that it's symbolic and meant stuff, and as for the two sequels that came before, Reloaded and Revolutions, I know a lot of people have actually either loved the sequels or hate them, but to me, pretty much serving as an unpopular opinion, I actually thought Reloaded and Revolutions are actually pretty good sequels to the original Matrix for sure as hell. So yeah, that's my unpopular opinion for those who actually don't know. So go ahead and fight me in the comments all you want, but yeah, I guess it's pretty clear that of course the original Matrix is great, but yeah, I know for sure that Reloaded and Revolutions, the two sequels that came after the first one, for while not pitch perfect by all means, I still think they're pretty good sequels for sure, and I guess I can also make the argument about the Animatrix for sure, and that one was also pretty good as well for sure, so yeah, but there's no denying for the fact that the Matrix movies are, of course, pretty well known for sure, and truly define, yeah, truly changed and defined everything of course, action and sci-fi films in recent years. So yeah, I guess with that mindset for sure, I am quite curious to see how this newest installment will actually fare up. Will he actually do some things that are much better, or do some things that are much worse than the previous films for sure. So yeah, that's of course what I was thinking for sure, and And luckily enough, serving as a little after Christmas treat for me, I've decided to actually go see this movie for what it is. Again, as part of my double feature that I decided to take on today, and yeah, I did actually finish up seeing that movie first for sure, and now that that's done, what do I think of this movie overall? Well, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty much of anything, again, this is serving as an unpopular opinion, but I actually thought Matrix Resurrections is actually good, so yeah. Again, it's not really pitch perfect by all means, nor is it even on par as, say, the first film, but I would definitely say it's pretty much similar to what I thought about the previous two sequels, Reloaded and Revolutions. Yeah, and actually saying that, I do think this is actually a pretty good sequel to the original Matrix. So yeah, did some things that are a little bit different from what it's actually doing, but still retained on of course what I would expect for a Matrix film. And for that, I still actually think it's a good movie for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. Here, I must have squirted a bit of water onto my face, but I'll be fine. Alright, so now that I've got the short version on what I thought about this movie out of the way, I guess it's fair that I should go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about this movie. First of all is, of course, the story, which, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought the story for, of course, this movie overall, I will have to admit, I think it's actually done pretty well for sure. Again, not really a great story for what it's actually trying to do, but still actually retaining a lot of good stuff in it and actually making it, well, be like a Matrix movie for sure. So, but yeah, like I said, they actually did some things that are different and actually new and inventive without repeating a whole lot of stuff too much, but for what it is, I still think it actually did a fine job and actually retained the identity of the original Matrix, and for that, I say it actually did the job just fine. So yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I can gather for, of course, the story for, of course, this movie for sure. And not only that, I also find the film's writing, I have to say, again, not pitch perfect in my opinion, but I still think it's actually pretty good for, of course, what it is, and it is actually very well crafted what you actually wanted to do. So yeah. I guess if anything, the story is actually very well put together, and the writing, I have to say, is not crafted perfectly, but still crafted good nevertheless. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on that. Alright, so now that I've got those two out of the way, I guess I might as well go ahead and pretty much move on to the next couple of things that I should mention, which is, of course, first off, the characters, and yeah, what else can I say about it? The characters, I have to say, they're actually brilliantly well done for sure, yeah, I have to say, each and every one of them, I actually think are actually incredibly likable for sure. Like, I do get fully into the midst, of course, with everything that's going on with, of course, what's been going on with, of course, Neo, Trinity, Morpheus, and that's just to name a few for sure, now. I'm granted, not all of them are, of course, pretty much, well likable, or, of course, incredibly interesting for sure, but to me, I still think they're actually pretty good characters for serving a purpose in what it has to do, though I am a bit disappointed that some characters that I was hoping I would see in this movie were pretty much appear for a second and then got sidelined for, of course, other stuff that's been going on in this movie, which is probably one of my many complaints on, of course, this one, but I still think the characters are, of course, done pretty good, nevertheless, and let's not forget to mention all the actors that actually came on board to, of course, play all these characters. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they actually did pull off some pretty good performances, in my opinion. I mean, they still retain the character's identity for sure, but still actually worked well, and of course what he has to do regardless, and for that I still think he actually did the job just fine about how yeah, and of course and yeah, seeing how I mentioned pretty much Neo for sure, I guess there's no denying for the fact that Keanu Reeves actually does do a fine job as Neo, as always, for sure, and yeah, I'm talking about the guy who has actually made a really big name for himself with, of course, movies and TV in general, and of course has exploded the internet for sure, because yeah, nobody could ever resist Keanu Reeves. I mean, I couldn't resist Keanu Reeves. He's practically our God, for example. Yeah, Keanu Reeves is God, for God's sake. Argue with me on that for sure. Keanu Reeves is God. So yeah. I guess there's no denying for the fact that stepping aside from all that, all the actors that came on board for, of course, all these characters, they actually did pull off some pretty good performances for sure. So yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I can say for, of course, those two in general. So yeah. Alright, so now that I've got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Well, quite a whole lot, actually, because for one thing, the action, I have to say, is, of course, brilliantly well done for sure. I mean, every single fight scene that I've actually seen for sure, they're actually done massively well for sure, and I just really love on how well choreographed each fight scene actually turned out. Like, pretty much almost every single one of them I've actually seen on screen, I actually do get fully into the midst on, of course, all of that, and it's actually done massively well for sure. So yeah. And of course, it also does help with the film's pacing for sure, as of course, it actually does want to be a fast pace in order to keep up with the action, which does actually suit very well for it, and it does know when to take a break and actually slow down a bit just to get ourselves established with, of course, the characters for sure. So yeah, I say that actually does work massively well, and for that it actually does do a fine job for sure. So yeah, and of course, on top of all that, the visuals and the effects in this movie, I will admit, they actually got a massive upgrade compared to the last film. Yeah, the last films that we got before, as they're actually done massively well, and they actually look really, really good for sure, and yeah, pretty much, I guess if anything, they actually do work massively well, because yeah, as much as I will say that nobody could actually top the effects, and of course, the original Matrix movie, where of course, pretty much the actors were, of course, freeze in time, and they had to have the camera spin around in a circle to actually see what's going on, and of course, people going like, oh, yeah, going like this, all in slow motion, again, with the camera moving around in a circle just to get every single angle, to which, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, is actually really impressive during the time for sure, but I guess if anything, the visuals and the effects in this movie for sure, they actually are pretty good for sure, and again, it actually did get a massive upgrade compared to the last films that we got before, and oh, excuse me, I must have breathed down the wrong throat about how, but yeah, I guess if anything, the visuals and the effects in this movie are still done pretty good regardless, and of course, the direction, of course, this movie, to which, yeah, I should mention this film pretty much doesn't have both Wachowskis involved with it, but only one Wachowski, which is Lana Wachowski, which kind of makes sense right about now, because, yeah, you cannot do The Matrix without the Wachowskis, or at least one of the Wachowskis for sure. But I still have to say, Lana Wachowski actually did a fine job directing this movie for sure. And of course, you can tell right away that Lana really did know what she is doing for sure. As of course, she did actually have a bit of experience with, of course, Lily Wachowski on the previous Matrix films in the past for sure. And yes, I did have to say Lana and Lily Wachowski for sure, because yeah, that's what they go by nowadays compared to years ago for sure. Just to be fair about how. But regardless, Lana Wachowski still did a fine job directing this movie for sure. And again, not really great by all means, but still done pretty good. And of course, let's not forget to mention, this film actually has some brilliant cinematography, as of course some really great camera shots are of course done massively well. And of course, the editing in this movie is cut up perfectly and really does fit in well, again, with not only the film's pacing, but also its towing atmosphere with what it's actually trying to do. But I guess the most important thing that I can say right about now is that it definitely did a fine job, and of course, bringing in some really great callbacks to the previous films that we got before into this one, which, yeah, I have to say, is actually there to serve for nostalgia purposes, but yeah. But yeah, I'm not totally against doing some stuff for the sake of nostalgia for sure. If it can be done right, it can actually work massively well. And luckily enough for this film, again, not really perfect by all means, but still did a fine job in bringing callbacks to the previous films that we got before. So yeah. That's pretty much what I can say on that, and that would definitely explain why I actually really like this movie for sure. So yeah. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that pretty much fully established on why I actually really like this movie for sure. Though, I guess if anything, aside from, of course, what I said earlier about the characters being one of my major complaints with, of course, this movie for sure, probably the one major one I have with this movie is that pretty much at several times right about now when I've actually seen the movie, I just kind of felt like that it's actually doing the opposite of what The Matrix has actually done for sure. Almost like pretty much I'm watching a Matrix movie without the Matrix for sure, which, yeah, that can be an issue right about now, and of course I wasn't actually fully immersed on, of course, everything that's been going on for, of course, this movie. But that's my major complaint that I actually have with this one for sure, just to be absolutely fair right about now, but, excuse me, so... But regardless on that, that still doesn't hurt my opinion on, of course, this movie overall. If I still think it's actually done pretty well, it's still done pretty well. So yeah, I guess that's everything that I can say about this one. So yeah, I guess overall, Matrix Resurrections is, yeah, for a while, not really a great movie by all means, but I still think it's actually a pretty good sequel to the original Matrix movie. So yeah, I guess if anything, my thoughts on this movie is pretty much similar to what I thought about the previous two sequels, Reloaded and Revolutions. Again, they're not really great by all means, and I mean, let's face it, nobody could ever top the original Matrix for sure, but I still think they're pretty good sequels nevertheless, and really knew what they were doing for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, that's pretty much the best way I can actually describe Matrix Resurrections overall. It's not really pitch perfect by all means, let alone pretty much be a fantastic sequel to the original Matrix for sure. And again, nobody could top the original Matrix, but I still think this movie is still a pretty good sequel nevertheless. And yeah, I guess if anything, it is definitely worth your time checking out regardless. So yeah, I guess that's the best way I can describe this movie overall. Not perfect, but still a good sequel nevertheless. So yeah, I guess that's the best way I can describe this movie overall. So yeah, I guess if you are quite curious to see it for yourself, then by all means go ahead and do so right now. It's definitely well worth 2.5 hours of your time for sure. So yeah, I guess that's the best way I can describe this movie. So yeah. Yeah, I guess if anything, I still recommend it nevertheless, as again, it's still actually a pretty good sequel that you certainly don't want to miss for sure. So yeah, for my final score right about now, I'm of course going to give Matrix Resurrections a pretty solid 7.5 out of 10. Again, not really pitch perfect by all means, but I still think it's actually a pretty good sequel nevertheless that is definitely worth your time checking out. So yeah, that's the best way I can describe this movie overall. So yeah, if you are quite curious to see it for yourself, then by all means, go ahead and do so. You can either check it out, check it out on the big screen like I just did, or if you want to see it without leaving your house or anything, then by all means, it's currently available for streaming on HBO Max right about now. So yeah, whichever one of those you prefer, definitely watch this movie for sure. It's actually well worth your time for sure. So yeah, whatever the case may be, yeah, pretty much whether you take either the red pill or the blue pill, one of them is still guaranteed to actually get you into, of course, well, see this movie for yourself. So yeah, I guess that's the best way I can actually describe this movie overall. So yeah. Alright, so I guess if anything, that'll pretty much do exactly that. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and let me know in the comment section below if you have seen Matrix Resurrections and what you thought about it, as well as, of course, leaving me constructive criticism and or advice on how I can improve my videos in the near future. And of course, as always, feel free to send me an email if you want to ask me any questions, or if you just want to book me for a con or event that'll be coming up sometime in the near future. Follow me on my social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and plenty of other social media sites that I have provided. All the links to them are down in the description box below. And of course, if you want to show your, yeah, and of course, as always, feel free to support me on Patreon if you want to see sneak peeks to some videos that I got coming up, as well as some other awesome rewards that will help fit into your budget. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, then give it a massive thumbs up, as it really does help this channel out. And speaking of my channel, feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell and select all notifications, so that way you'll be notified once I upload a brand new video. So yeah, that'll pretty much do exactly that. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and like I said, Matrix Resurrections is not the only film that I actually saw about now, as of course, one other film that I actually saw in addition to Matrix Resurrections actually came out around the exact same time, and believe it or not, that's, of course, what I'm going to be covering next right about now. So yeah, tune in next time, everybody, as, of course, I follow up my thoughts on Matrix Resurrections with, of course, another movie that I saw around the same time. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that later today when you get the chance. But until then, I think it's about time that I will pretty much put these back on. So yeah, I guess until then, I will definitely leave you on this note right about now, as, well, I just need an excuse to actually imitate Agent Smith from the original movies. Yeah. Nobody could deny that. I mean, I couldn't. So I'll definitely leave you at that, Mr. Anderson. So, I guess until the next Thoughts video, take care, everybody. Yes.